This video is for all the brand new Marines out there that are about to hit the fleet. Have you ever been so boot that you don't even know what boot means? I have, and I'm here to help you out. A boot is an acronym, B-O-O-T, barely out of training. And you're gonna get called that when you first make it to the fleet. Why? Because you're barely out of training. Side note to that, everybody's a boot to somebody. So just get used to it. But I came up with a list of about 5 life hacks that's gonna help you out and set you aside from all of your peers who are also boots and make you look like you're the most knowledgeable one there. So here we go. Now again, these are just 5 life hacks. This is obviously not all inclusive, and sometimes it does depend on the job that you're doing, but nonetheless, these 5 tips should help most people out there. Tip number 1, if you're brand new to the fleet, you may be so boot that you have just traveled there or you're about to travel there, which means you're gonna have a lot of flights that you've taken up to this point, taxis, so on and so forth. Keep all of your receipts. As a matter of fact, every single time you travel in your whole career in the Marine Corps, keep your receipts. Why? Because a lot of those expenses are reimbursable expenses, meaning you pay for them up front. Like your flight, you pay for your flight, and then once you make it to the fleet, you do a travel claim and you get that money back that you spent on the flight. But if you don't have a receipt, you're running into issues and you're not gonna get your money. So it's better to have the receipt and not need it than to get the receipt, throw it away, then you go and check in and find out you needed the receipt. Keep your receipts every single time you travel. Tip number 2, this one is about your SIF gear. If you don't even know what SIF gear is, I definitely know that you're a boot, but the SIF gear is the military issued gear that you get, like your flak jacket and your Kevlar, and the SAPI plates and the ILB packs and all of it. When you get issued your SIF gear, take that gear and put it into your wall locker or your closet and don't touch it until you receive an order saying you need a piece of gear. And when you get that order and you use that piece of gear, put it straight back in there. Because first of all, gear adrift is at risk, and that's going to remain that way until you get out of the military. People are always looking to take it because they're probably missing a piece of gear themselves. When you're missing a piece of gear and you go to check out of your unit and you turn your SIF gear back in, if you're missing an item, those items are expensive, and that's coming out of your pocket if you're missing it. In my Marine Corps career, I PCS'd 4 times, and every single time, except for my very last time, I was missing an item. Somehow, some way, I was missing an item. Take the gear and put it straight into your wall locker. That way you're not paying out of pocket for gear that you don't even know what it is, all these weird names and whatnot. Now, of course, there's gonna be some MOSs out there that have to use this gear on the regular, like the infantry Marines and so on and so forth. Of course, you're gonna have to use that gear. But if you're a pogue like I was, put it in your wall locker and don't touch it, don't play with it, don't do nothing with it until it's time to turn it back in, or you have to use it for some reason, some piece of training. Here's the next trick that's going to allow you to run an infinite amount of perfect 300s on your combat fitness test. As we know, as Marines, we run a physical fitness test and we run a combat fitness test. Sometimes people think the PFT is harder, sometimes people think that the CFT is harder. I'm in the boat where I feel like the PFT is harder than the CFT, right? So here's the life hack. If you're truly training to run a perfect 300 PFT, physical fitness test, there is no way that if you're training for that 300 PFT, that you don't automatically run a 300 CFT. You're training your body to maintain a 6-minute mile pace for 3 miles. You're telling me you can't knock out an 880 in the allotted amount of time? When I figured this trick out, I'm telling you, I never bumped below a 300 on my CFT again. Now I get it, you're doing different things in the CFT than you are the PFT, but if you're training for that 3-mile run, you're gonna be fine over here. If you're training to knock out your max amount of pull-ups, you're gonna be fine right over here. All you gotta do is train to run a 300 PFT. You might not run a 300 PFT. My highest PFT ever was like a 281. But I promise you, I've only ran 2 CFTs in my whole 12-year career that was not a 300, and it was because I was always chasing that 300 PFT. Try it out, it's probably gonna work for you. Here's life hack number 4 when it comes to the brand new Marines. When you check into the fleet, it is vital that you check in, you go to your work section, and you're a sponge when it comes to your MOS. Like a sponge that's all pinched together, and when you release it, it just soaks up all that water, right? You're soaking up that knowledge. You are a sponge. sponge that just soaks up all the knowledge of your job. Why? Because the best time to learn something is when you know nothing. I get it. You just graduated your job school and you might feel like you know a whole lot of stuff. I'm here to tell you that the job school is going to teach you bare minimum. You are going to learn how to do your job by on-the-job training, by learning from those lance corporals and those NCOs around you and actually doing it. But if you just get there and you're not applying yourself appropriately, your knowledge is going to be right here and you're going to see those other boots around you gaining all this other knowledge and all this respect, and you're still sitting here barely knowing just the tip of your MOS. Don't be that Marine where somebody asks you a question and your answer is, that's just the way I've always seen it. No, be a sponge, learn your job and do it off the rip, because it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. But you're lucky because you're a boot, so you're a young dog, learn those tricks. And here's life hack number 5, but make sure you guys stay with me because I just came up with an additional life hack that's going to help you out on those PFTs and CFTs. When you first get to the fleet, one of the many things that you probably got on your plate that you got to get done, one thing that people just don't tell you is you need to take those dress uniforms and those service uniforms, pull them out of the sea bag, get them unwrinkled, take them to the cleaner and get them inspection ready and hang them up in your wall locker or in your closet and just leave them there. If you don't do that and then all of a sudden an inspection comes around or the Marine Corps ball comes around or a mess night comes around, you're going to be frantically trying to get your uniform ready, or your uniform is so bad it's going to be impossible to get ready, and now you're trying to ask your buddies who aren't even the same size as you if you could borrow their Charlie shirt or something like that. Get to the fleet, take your uniforms out of the sea bag, go to the tailor and get them dry cleaned, and you'll be good to go. No more worrying about the uniforms. And those were 5 life hacks that will help all of the boots. But here's that bonus that I was going to bring up about the PFTs and the CFTs. If you did not know, there's a PFT season and there's a CFT season, right? There is no in-between period. The PFT season lines up perfectly with the CFT season. Meaning, if you're training for that 300 PFT so that you know you can run the CFT, all you really have to do is wait until the end of PFT season, run your PFT, and then maybe the next day, because it started the next season, you run your CFT. All you got to do is run them back to back, and boom, you can take a break, you can get some rest, and you're good. You're good for a whole year until you got to do it again. Try lining up your PFT to your CFT or your CFT to your PFT, whichever season you find yourself in. Run them back to back and you're done worrying about it for a whole year. And all you got to do is train for that 300 the following year. Make sense? I hope you find some of these life hacks useful. And if you do me the favor and send this video to somebody else that you think could use it. And while you're at it, go ahead and like the video. Make sure you press that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. And until next time, I'm Dom with the After Action Podcast. Looking forward to hearing from you guys.